Hello, teacher.
Hi, Frank.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. What about you?
All good.
Nice.
All good, all good. Are you able to listen to me? Yes, right?
Yes, I can. I
Okay.
can hear you.
So how was your day today at work? Was it light, relaxed, or quite busy?
It was quite busy.
Quite busy.
Quite busy.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also had a busy day because I had some doctor's appointments that I needed to attend today and I lost some hours in
Okay.
that and whenever you have a lot of tasks to complete, this complicates everything, right? Because you have to get to manage the rest of the hours that you have and complete everything on time, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, but anyways, I I finished like 1 hour than usual, working and managing some stuff, but everything good.
Okay. Where do you work?
I work at Foundever, the call center.
Forever. I
It is
never
used
heard.
to be called Sykes before. I don't know if you heard it. Sykes.
Yeah. Psych.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know why, but your face seems very familiar to me. I don't know. Like if I
I
don't know
I
if I
thought I thought the same with you. I don't know why.
really no, I don't know, but probably I don't know. You have never worked at a call center, right?
No, no,
No.
no. But you looks uh, you look very familiar, but I
No,
don't
and,
know.
and and for me too, and I was Francisco Alemán, when I saw your face, right? But I don't know where. Where did we meet? Because I'm just trying to think. I don't know. Um, where did you study? Here in San
Uh,
Salvador or in Santa Ana?
no, no, here in Santa Ana. Santa Ana.
Weird. That's weird. And do you have like cousins that work at Sykes?
No,
No, no.
no, I don't
Yeah, because I
have.
used to have, two coworkers that, whose last name was Alemán
No, okay.
or whose last name is Alemán and they have family in Santa Ana.
Um, no, I have no family.
You don't. Hmm.
Mm, no,
No.
no.
Weird. That's weird. Or probably, I don't know. You have all the jobs that you have had them in Santa Ana,
No, in San Salvo.
in San Salvador.
Yeah.
Did you used to be like a teacher or something like that? Like for any computer science subject? No?
No.
I don't know, but I've been thinking, where did I meet you? Or maybe in a seminar, I don't know. So I've gone
Mm,
to so many seminars from FEPADE and all that, but it was before the pandemic because now we don't have like that many seminars.
okay.
But I don't know. I've been trying to think about it, but I don't really get where exactly. I don't know. I have another friend. No, but I don't. No, I don't think you are his family member. His name is Kerim Alemán.
Kerima.
No.
No.
Yeah, but anyways, probably in another life we
In
met.
another life, maybe.
And that's why we think that we know each other. Yeah, because as I said, your face seems very familiar to me. What
Maybe I
is
have
your
a.
what is your wife name?
Fatima, Fatima Nayeli, and his surname is a little uh, not weird, but it's not common. It's a Spenlove.
Mm, no, but no. I don't have any friend whose name is Fatima.
Yeah,
It's weird. It's weird.
yeah.
All right, so I think that's gonna be only you in the class. Let's get started. And
Okay.
yesterday there was a missing topic, right? That we missed to discuss. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And let's see. All right, so it's here. So we discussed about cosmetic surgery, use of personal data, and the other one that you had to discuss or that you had to give us your opinion about is this one, right?
More
Or was it
farmers.
this one? I don't remember. No, it was this one.
Farmers.
More
Yes, the farmers.
farmers plant genetically engineered crops to save money. What are your thoughts on that?
And I think nowadays is very common that kind of crops means cultivos, right?
Crops, yeah. Hmm.
This kind of crops. Um, I think this is because with the growth of the population around the world, we need to feed more people, and traditional crops can be uh, something more complicated to uh, more complicated to the farmer to produce uh, than genetically engineered crops, because this kind of uh, crops need less pesticides, need less invest of money to produce, but there is no there are no uh, I read that we are not sure about the consequence that eating this kind of product maybe can make or maybe can generate some ills or what do you say, enfermedades,
Illness.
illness, but because these are relatively new way to crops or new way to produce food, we are not sure about the consequence.
Hmm.
Based on an article I read.
Yeah. And especially I think that, by doing that, if they are producing and the pronunciation for the verb it's produce. You can say
produce,
produce, but it's better if you
produce,
say it produce. The same with
produce,
reduce, right? Reduce.
reduce.
It's like that.
Okay, reduce,
But as you
produce.
said, maybe nowadays we don't identify the consequences, right, of those genetically crops, because at the end of the day, we are consumers, right? So we buy fruits, we buy vegetables, and we don't really know, you know, like the where that is exactly coming from, right? So sometimes I don't know if you have seen, but I've seen big tomatoes, and
Yeah,
I just, how, right? How are they cultivating it? But in this case, or how do they plant it, right? How do they plant that the seed of the tomato? But anyways, I think that as you said, maybe in the future, we're gonna like observe the consequences, but probably not really, just to wait for the future, Frank, because I don't know if you have seen, but a lot of people are getting sick. A lot of people are being diagnosed with cancer and with, you know, a lot of illnesses that people say, wow, but I saw that person that looked very healthy and suddenly it's very sick, right? Or ill,
yeah,
ill in this case.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, we just need to, you know, ensure that we eat healthy, but somehow I just think, but where is that fruit or vegetable coming from, right? Because we really don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think in some countries is prohibit of
prohibited.
prohibited the use of this kind of uh, genetically
Genetically
crops,
crops.
generically crops.
Yeah, it is forbidden, but at the end of the day, what I think is, you know, farmers are going to lose money, right? If they don't do it that way.
Yeah, maybe all the product could be increased.
Hmm.
That the costs can increase, right?
The cost, exactly, the
The
cost.
the cost, the
The
cost.
cost, and sometimes, if that happens, they would need to sell everything more expensive, and they're going to incur into losing money because probably people won't buy them at that price, right?
Yeah, there are organic product in the supermarket that are more
Mhm.
expensive than the traditional
Yeah,
products.
organic ones. Yeah, you're right. My father has a harvest here in our backyard, and
Oh,
I'll show you tomorrow the tomatoes that we have from the harvest.
okay, nice. I like that. I would like to
Yeah,
have a place where I could uh, how do
plant.
you say plant that
Hmm.
plant
Plant or
some
harvest. You can also say
that
that,
what
or
I was looking
harvest.
for, harvest.
Hmm.
Harvest.
Yeah, it's you know, it we have like a backyard, and in the backyard there is, a big space where you can harvest, or you can also in English you say cultivar huerto, you say it to grow a garden,
Grow a garden.
although it's
Okay.
vegetable, right? So he has chili peppers, um cherry tomatoes. I don't know if you know them, the little ones,
Yeah, little tomatoes.
and also the big ones, right? Big tomatoes.
Okay.
And what I want is, for him to harvest the other type of chilies, the peppers, the ones that are colorful.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't
red
know what the name is.
peppers. Well, in English, you say just the pepper and the color, right? In Spanish, they are called pimientos, right? But in English, you call it like red pepper, green pepper, or yellow pepper.
Okay.
And there are also orange
Yeah.
peppers, and
There's a,
and I like them. I like them. They are very, very delicious.
yeah, I like to.
Yeah. And I tell him that I want him to, do something to harvest sweet potato. Do you know what a sweet potato is?
No, I don't know.
Sweet
I don't know.
potato, it's in Spanish is, oh my God, oh, camote.
Ah, come on.
That is
Okay.
sweet potato.
Sweet
Mhm.
potato.
Yeah.
Sweet potato.
So because I like them a lot, and in the supermarket they are very expensive. Very, very expensive.
Yeah. Camote.
We
I
used to have lettuce. The lettuce that is sold in the supermarket, we used to have it here in the backyard.
oh really?
Yeah.
There's
But it takes a lot of time, and he sometimes gets lazy, because he has to, when it doesn't rain, he must water,
yeah.
the garden and
I
all that.
as in some places they harvest, so they plant in like not river but places where there is a lot of water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Super Selectos, for example, they harvest the majority of the food or the vegetables and fruits in La Palma, I mean in near El Pital.
Yeah, Chalatenango.
Yes, for that reason, sometimes they have like fresh, fruits and vegetables, because they take them from El Pital.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, I think it's a good idea to know how to plant and how to harvest, because you never know in the future if everything is going to be, very expensive, or if you're not going to have like, I don't know. I just think about I don't know if you saw the series that is called The Walking Dead.
yes, I like that
Yeah,
series.
I also loved it a lot, and there were a lot of harvest throughout the movie, right?
Yeah,
They even stole some seeds in a museum to be able to cultivate and harvest. And I just think about it. What if one day that happens? You need to have
yeah.
those seeds to be able to survive, right? It's crazy and funny. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, teacher.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I
Great.
was, yeah, I was listening to you.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. We were just, finishing yesterday's exercise, and we're gonna get started with a new one. We're not gonna go to this one because it's just reading, and I prefer that, we discuss about this one and specifically. This is page number 22. And what we are going to do is read about 3 people who had troubles with technology. So we need to go over, read the 3 cases, and you need to tell me how would you have felt in their situation and what would you have done better. So first, how would you feel? And then what would you have done? So we're going to go over the first one, and we're going to discuss about Stan. He's 36 years old. So Jennifer, help me reading, please. And then we discussed about the 2 questions above. Go ahead.
Okay. Working from home on Friday, I opened my company network login page. Unfortunately, I forgotten the password my boss had gave me, and he had taken the days off. Being too embarrassed to call him at home, I had to go to work after all the access the network.
Okay, great. So here, working from home one Friday. And there's another one given me. Unfortunately, I'd forgotten the password my boss had given me. Given me is the past participle of the verb give, right? Given. Given me, and he taken the day off. Being too embarrassed to call him at home. I had to go to work after all the access the network. So, looking into this scenario, Frank, that you are used to, because I know that Jennifer, you used to go to the office, but Frank, you are used to work from home, right? So what would you do, or how would you have felt in Stan's situation? If you put yourself, in that situation, how would you felt?
Um, I would uh,
I would have felt.
I could have felt worried because
I needed.
I needed to do my task in the situation that his boss was in the day off,
Mhm.
and it could be is I don't know. Call to the boss in a day off is some is ever something um, how do you say penoso,
Ashamed or embarrassed? Because
embarrassed, is
that's why
something.
he says here, being too embarrassed to call him, right? So that's embarrassing if you
Yeah,
decide to
that is
call your
embarrassed.
boss in a day
That
off, right?
is- okay,
Yeah.
yeah, but to solve the situation, in my case, for instance, where I work, it's happened a lot, but there is an area where we usually call to have another password. But in this case, well, I I could call to my boss
Hmm.
to ask for another password.
Yeah.
But
In the real scenario nowadays, I think that because of the security measures that each company takes, there shouldn't be anyone, right, sharing the password with another employee, because that's not allowed, right, in most
yeah,
of companies. But from time to time, maybe that could happen, and of course, this could result into this situation, especially if the person didn't write down, right, the password at all, or if the password was taken incorrectly, right? So
yeah.
that could be a scenario. So Jennifer, what do you think? What would have you done if you were in this situation that Stan went through?
Mm, Before I used to work, I used to have home office
Mm-hmm.
a year ago, and most of the time the page asked me to change the password, and sometimes it I think that we had 3 months until the password expire. Yeah.
Mhm.
So when that happened in my case, we had support that were helping us for that situation. In the case I forgot my password, I never asked for it to my boss
I never
because
asked.
I
Asked.
never
Mhm.
I never asked for a new password to my boss. I needed to contact my support team, to say
Support
like that,
desk. Mhm.
support desk, in order to have another password. But we had to wait until 10 to 20 minutes in order to get a new one.
Wow, a lot
But
of time.
yeah, but in the case of Stan, I will also felt embarrassed because
Embarrassed. Mhm.
embarrassed because as we know, bosses um never are in connected to say it like that in the days off. So it will
Mhm.
be like um it will be de por gusto, I don't know how to say it. It won't be, no va a valer la pena. I don't know how to say it.
In that
No,
case,
yeah,
you could say something like, although I call my boss, it's gonna be unsuccessful
okay.
because he's always
Unsuccessful.
off, right? When
Yeah.
during the days off, and imagine now in vacations, right?
Yeah, correct. And in my case that I have a work in call centers only, I know that they are not in touch with us when they are in their day off. They are like ah que vea cómo resuelve sus cosas.
Mhm.
Y, ajá,
So
so
they are like, they need to handle it. They are already expert
yeah,
and they need to look
they
after themselves, right?
correct. They supposed we can fix the issue or a problem we have at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that usually managers or supervisors expect that you are a solver, right? That
Yeah,
that you are able to solve your own issues. Yes.
correct. Yeah, and yeah, I will do that or feel like that in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great. Excellent. So let's take a look at number 2. We have Peter, who is 18. Francisco, go ahead and read it out loud, please.
Okay. I had dinner plans with my parents, but I was still out hiking when I was supposed to meet them at the restaurant. I kept trying to call them, but the calls were dropped before I could even say hello. Having gotten having gotten several calls from me, my parents became really worried. They were they were relieved when I finally got through an hour later.
An hour later. Okay, so I had dinner plans with my parents, but I was still out hiking when I was supposed to meet them at the restaurant. I kept trying to call them, but the calls were dropped before I could even say hello. Having gotten several calls from me, my parents became really worried. Worried. Whenever you say worried, is the same as, the ending of married. You don't say worried or you don't say married, right? You said married or worried.
Okay, married word.
And with this word several, you say like several. several. You don't really pronounce the E in the middle. So it's several calls from me. My parents became really worried. They were relieved when I finally got through an hour later. Okay, great. So how would you felt in that situation, Jennifer? Imagine that you already have plans with your parents, but suddenly something like this happened. How would you feel?
I will feel worried because I know they are going to be worried too.
Mhm.
I know my parents, and when we have a an appointment or when we had a schedule, uh,
Family reunion
ex
or a
a
family
family.
gathering? Mhm.
Okay, when we have a family reunion, uh, I must need to be everywhere that we had a setup. We have set to. So in the case I have no came to the place that we were supposed to be, I know that they um they got a little they got worried. It's like a must that I need to tell them if I am on my way, if there is something that has happened, in a case I'm going to be late or
Mhm.
something like that. So in that case, if I will be a out in somewhere that I cannot make any calls,
Mhm.
I will be like Peter because maybe they get also a little bit mad because I have no um we have not we have been not communicating in a long time.
Mhm.
So yeah, in that case it will be um, a little bit hard because I will be in a place that I cannot tell them what's happening.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
everything is going to be out of your control, right? So, and that's
correct.
something that
Everything is going to be.
you can't really control about, but anyways, it's something that happened, right? So what
Yeah.
about you, Frank? What are your thoughts on this case, on this
And
scenario?
and I think if uh, thinking about my family, in in case of my mother, could be uh, worried about me because
Mhm.
when I live with her, I used to tell her about I used to went or
Where I used to
uh,
go.
where I used to go. Yeah, where I
Mhm.
used to go. And if, for instance, I told her at that time in the I could be at home, and that that time passed. She used to call me or call some friend if I
And extremely worried, I imagine.
extremely worried.
Yeah. Just,
and,
collapsing. Because yeah, moms are like this.
and I understand her because that time in El Salvador uh, it was very complicated with the
It was
guns.
dangerous, pretty
It was
dangerous,
very
yes.
dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And the main concern for her it was the guns, not what I was doing, but
Mm-hmm.
the guns. And in this case, well, um, I think just that
Just that. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So we have the trouble number 3. Go ahead, Frank. Vera, 24 years
Vera,
old.
24. I had a great presentation ready for the business class. Business class I'm taking. Being a perfectionist, I have prepared it in detail on my laptop. The next day in class, the laptop crashed opening the file. Trying to stay calm, I gave the presentation as best I could from memory.
Okay, so I had a great presentation ready for the business class. For the business class I'm taking, being a perfectionist, that is perfectionist. Remember that the word is perfection, but the adjective is with the nist. So perfectionist. I had prepared it in detail on my laptop. The next day in class, my laptop crashed. Opening the file, trying to stay calm, I gave the presentation as best I could from memory. So this was a really, really, really bad circumstance. How would you felt, Jennifer? How would you have felt if this situation had happened to you?
I will be in shock. My mind will be blank.
In blank. Your mind
In
would be in blank.
Yeah, my mind will be in blank. Most of the time when I used to go to the university and I had really important presentations, it really got me. It really got me like feeling nervous. So I had to prepare everything like days before of the presentation because I wanted to be
The best?
the best, yeah. And I used to get really nervous. Even I I get I got prepared. I got prepared, and I
Even though I was prepared. Even though
even
I
though
was prepared.
even though I was prepared. So, and imagine the situation, and I know me that almost of the time I had to speak into two or more people. I get nervous.
Speak in public.
Speaking when I speak in public, I know that I get nervous. Even I know the topic about. I don't know what it will happen in the situation because it will be like oh my god, I just drop everything and forgot everything and feel nervous about it and maybe saying anything. It will be
Yeah.
like a disaster.
A
Yeah.
disaster, yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah, because
Yeah.
imagine everything is on the laptop, right? The
Correct.
information is there and you were already prepared, right, to talk about something. I get you, yeah. It happens. So Francisco, what
Yeah.
about you? What are your thoughts on this?
For me, one of my weaknesses is speaking in public. And when I was in the is in the university or at the university?
When I was at.
When I was at the university, I ever felt nervous when
Always felt.
I always felt nervous when
Well,
I
if it was always, or you can also say usually or frequently, depending on how often that happened, right?
now all the time I used to present I felt nervous.
Oh,
But
okay.
in this case, even with this problem,